want to thank the chairman of the Youth Assembly for starting a rollout program to engage my students in the community. As you know, the student movement was part of the formation of this movement. The MDC is a creature of the labor movement, student movement, women's movement, and the social movements in this country. So we don't forget the roots of this movement and the contribution made by your former predecessors in contributing to the formation of this. So this conversation is very, very timely. It's unprecedented, but it's useful at a time when the country is facing very serious crisis. I want to acknowledge the issues that your president has raised. And he has preempted by saying that it's not unique. I've been to 5 or 6 campuses, and the problems are the same. The social degradation of the students in this country is a national shame. It has undermined the dignity of our future leaders. What has happened to the students in this country cannot be something that any government or any leader would be proud of. Because I know what this country is capable of doing. Let me say that the key objectives of this conversation is one, that we shouldn't be in a position where we respond to the symptoms, but to actually deal with the causes of the problem. Now, what you see as no food, no accommodation, no transport, no teachers, it's a symptom of a deeper problem that we face as a country. The crisis of legitimacy, the crisis of governance, the crisis of the economy, and the crisis of poverty manifests itself in what we find ourselves as a nation. And the students happen to be just part of that social fabric that is exposed to this degradation of issues. So, what are we going to do? The first point is that we have to organize ourselves. We have to organize ourselves in our various sectors, as students, as workers, as unemployed, as parents, as Zimbabweans, to deal with the crisis that we face today. It is a serious crisis that if it is not tackled now, we will all perish. And I want to say this because some of the people, when I say this, they think that I'm inciting people. I'm not inciting anyone. I'm just telling you the truth. And the truth is that we have allowed a man, supposedly our liberator, to put us back in a situation where we need to liberate ourselves once more. And it's a tragedy that we were forced to form a post-liberation formation because the liberation movement had failed. It had failed to deliver to the objectives of that very same liberation objective. What then turned out was the situation of one-man rule, corruption, violence, intimidation. And at the end of the day, when we look back, is this what we fought for as a people? I am sure everyone will say, no, we need a new dispensation. And that new dispensation can only come, and it has come because the MDC was formed to confront that particular challenge. We have said, until Mugabe goes, not because it's an obsession. It's not about Mugabe as a person. I don't hate him. The only thing is that he's too old to deal with the issues that we face today. And because of that, Zimbabweans are loudly saying haisi nyaya ye 15 billion. Haisi nyaya yekuti chii kana chichi. Inyaya yekuti perhaps this country needs a new direction and a new trajectory. So when we say let's act, we are not act as counter-revolutionary activity. We are acting to restore the dignity of Zimbabwe. Yes. And that restoration of dignity of Zimbabwe can only come when ZANU-PF and all its commissions and omissions are set aside. And a new policy is designed so that students don't have to complain as students. What stops a government from restoring the student class? They used to be there. What stops a government from building my hostels, my students? What stops a government from ensuring that the quality of education is commensurate with the economic challenges that we face as a country? I have said before that zvakambotaurwa navazobwa kuti pakatanga maform 2 aya masecondary akaita mumaruzevha umo zvakanzi angova mabonderere ema-high school. Now hatidi mabonderere ema-university. Because why? When we invest in students, we are invest in the future labor market professionals and technicians for the good of the country. When we invest in you, we are saying that the future economic potential of the country can be exploited by quality professionals. You are educated as an accountant, you don't even know how to account. What is that? We have 75 state enterprises in this country. But those enterprises have now broken down because why? When we recruit professionals to run those parastatals, there are no professionalism. The National Railways has become an image of its former self. I'm not talking about potholes in the road. I'm just saying, just look at yourself and say, is this the Zimbabwe that we can be proud of? Zambia. From the very beginning, you are undermining your patriotic zeal and patriotic defense. What's going to a national pledge? I'm not opposed to national pledge. But that national pledge must actually emanate from my own patriotic zeal. It's a pledge. It's a pledge. The first pledge that any Zimbabwean must do is that I want to die for my country. Now, how many of you would be prepared to die for Zimbabwe without conditions? 1, 2, 3. How about the rest? There's something wrong about it. Because we are all not patriotic because we have been undermined as Zimbabwean national. When you build a nation that everyone is prepared to defend without condition. But I'm prepared to die for Zimbabwe. I'm not because I'm defending ZANU-PF. Then there's something wrong with that country. National pledge. There's nothing wrong with national pledge unless it is a commitment to human rights, democracy, and the economic prosperity for all. Yes. And when you pledge that, then you've got a future. What I'm talking about is airtime technicians. What can MDC do? I know that the MDC is not in government. Even during the inclusive government, we were saying the MDC is not in government. The MDC is part of government. There's very little we would have done to ensure that, but we proved ourselves. Yes. The capacity and the experience we gained during that time means that the MDC can take this country forward. Yes. First and foremost, if this country does not restore international and national confidence, we will have dead cities like Bulawayo and all the cities that we have around the country. We want to see Matauze, Bulawayo, Ashita, kick and fire. Bulawayo used to be the industrial hub of this country. But now what do we have? I understand most of the industries are now changing. Yes. I'm going to start my work. I want to leave you 6 programs. Chatri Buddha, when we remove ZANU-PF, by action, by whatever, when we remove ZANU-PF, we've got 6 programs. Firstly, in order to have transformation in this country, the first thing is that we need to change the governing culture. Yeah. The governance culture in this country must be changed. Root and branch. We can't have a situation where Totochka Unganas, but anyway, Kanaripo, it's very good. Because by the time you're not going to Mugabe, the Wasure, Tsvangirai what is it? Governance culture, very important. Number 2, we need to revive this economy. Taka prove within a short period of time that this economy can be revived again. We have the infrastructure, we have the people. Yes. We can revive this economy. There is no way a country has been revived where an economy can grow by 10 to double-digit economy. Hakuna, but we did it. Number 3, we need to rehabilitate our infrastructure. Hey, Bakoman. Zimbabwe had this. The railway was kiki, the roads were kiki. Water, sanitation, houses, everything was there. But now, kana industry yacho rotanga kuti industry. Vamwe muchatovhunduka. Makuzi uyai kubasa kuti basa kupi. Ina muzusira cheno la dichipsi. Number 4, institutional reform. My institutions edu have been so patronized. Mapurisa, Masoja. Why should the people be afraid of the army? Why should the people be afraid of the police? These are institutions that have been created to defend the interests of Zimbabweans, but they are now instruments of intimidation and violence against the people. So institutional reform becomes very important. But as ZECA, how do you have ZEC, Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, whose sole purpose is to rig the election? Huh? How do you have that? Number 5, we need security sector reform. Without doubt, we cannot be living in fear. I am Jiboza, 2008, Ranoff, Mamshura Fan. After 2 weeks, I mango. Could not even come down because of fear. What kind of a life is that? Last, what this country needs is to restore international confidence. International confidence, I go we used to get around. You need to cultivate relations with the international community. As long as you never puppet. But you will be interested in promoting the very same interests of your own people. When you are an investment, as you're able to write a subservient to them, you are actually creating conditions for foreign direct investment, which then will create jobs and opportunities for all these young people who I see desperate perpetual programs. Saka isu atisi ukukubirai kuti support MDC. Tiri kutaurirai kuti if you want change from your life that you are living, then join us in liberating the people. Asa handidi vanhu zera renyu rinotaura kuti Morgan haunyari wakaita sei ini ndiri baba wenyini woti baba wangu John chinja chinja. I see all part of our culture. Part of our culture is to respect our elders.
Yes.
Is to express an opinion without fear and favor, but without necessarily dashing away from your responsibility to ensure that this country remains the breadbasket of the region, not the basket case. And tikadaro, I want to tell you, tichachema misodzi, kwete yekuchema kurwadziwa, but misodzi yokufara. That is the future we promise you. But in order to achieve that promise, we have to travel a roadmap in which we have to pay a price. Huh?
Yes.
We have to pay a price to be arrested, to be killed, to be harassed, to be what? We have to pay that price. Hakuna chemahara mushana. In this struggle, there are risks. And without taking the risk, we have to be risk. In fact, the more you just the more panel which I wish you good luck in your exams. Meet you in the future, okay?